Hey everybody, Nico the Legend here to give you another Mass Effect Andromeda news report. Yeah, you guys heard it all. And today's topic is going to be talking about three DLCs for Mass Effect Andromeda. But before that, I just want to thank you guys for checking out the videos that I've posted up recently of Mass Effect. The Return of Casey Hudson was a very personal video I made, and a very encouraging and hopeful video of things to come for BioWare and the Mass Effect franchise, including Anthem as well. So yes, 3 DLCs. Let's start it off. We all know that DLC is a big part of games, and we know how much it extends the lifetime of a game and making the franchise have a little bit more of a closure. We are no stranger for Mass Effect to having that, especially from Mass Effect 1 through 3. Although Mass Effect 1's DLC was the Batarian, okay, that one was pretty good. But the other one where you're doing a bunch of trial runs, some virtual reality stuff, that's passable. I never really did it after I did it once and collected all the achievements. And 2 and 3 has some pretty awesome big DLC packages that made us always feel like we're on the edge of our seat and we always wanted to finish it. And we heard about it in, the upcoming games like Mass Effect 3 and stuff from doing previous DLCs. And they do play a pivotal role. Mass Effect 2 DLC to the third one. It's really great to see that stuff that they implemented in there, that carried over. So we already know that Mass Effect DLC is just so great. So when Andromeda comes along and there's possibility for multiple DLC packs, what are some things, what are some DLCs that we could get? Well, this article right now is explaining 3 important ones. Now, the first one we all know is the Arkan Crisis, which contains the Quarians, a strange transmission, kind of like an SOS, or, Keela Shala. I'm sorry, it's a little bit racist that I don't speak it properly, so I apologize, Quarians. But that was the biggest one. That was like the most obvious, because it was something that we all heard at the end of the game when we beat it. Spoiler. And then throughout in the beginning of the game, when we hear from certain characters that the Quarians are still trying to make it, but they had some ship trouble. So it'd be really cool to see, possible Batarians messing with the Quarian Ark or something, like, an experiment gone wrong, like there's Geth on it or something. And Geth somehow got aboard the Ark, because the Geth they're a single unit, like the Borg in Star Trek, something like that. So that would have been something really neat to see. Hopefully we still see that. It's definitely looking grim. It's been looking grim for a while. We haven't gotten anything for the past couple months after they said the franchise is on ice. So the next DLC would be the Mysterious Benefactor, which is completely... See, here's the thing where I was talking about before, how it was so obvious about Quarian DLC. DLC, the Mysterious Benefactor, is only known if you truly did a lot of the side quests, and a particular one that's very time consuming and requires a lot of fetch quests, and it's a huge chain quest. It's crazy. For those of you who don't know what a chain quest is, a chain quest is basically one quest after another, and it just keeps going on and for a while. One thing leads to another. So we find out the Mysterious Benefactor is the guy who supported the Andromeda Initiative and funded it. And he's just a person we just hear about and never know. It's almost like... The Benefactor almost reminds me of the Shadow Broker. Oh my god, it's just been a long time since I heard it, because you don't really hear it on Andromeda. The Shadow Broker. So it's kind of like that. We hear about the Shadow Broker. We don't know too much about him, only that he supplies all the information that you can possibly... He sells information. He deals with information. So he's an information dealer. And we were able to see who he was in Mass Effect 2. So we had to wait about 3 years to find out who he is after hearing it in Mass Effect 1. So it's kind of neat to see the same thing with a Mysterious Benefactor, although the Benefactor wasn't as apparent compared to the Shadow Broker, because people would talk about the Shadow Broker all the time and reveal how threatening he can be and how don't mess with the Shadow Broker. And it didn't take grueling time away from your actual playtime to find out this Mysterious Benefactor even existed to begin with. But it's still a good thing to make a big DLC for, because we always love the unknown when it comes to space games, and just hearing all this, interesting, suspenseful facts or tales or rumors. It's nice to know that the benefactor is someone that we are curious about. So that's something that they could do for the second DLC. The third one kind of has the benefactor involved. It's, basically, it would be called the Remnants of the Jarden. Jargon. Basically, the race that made the Remnant. Kind of like the Protheans, how they were a race that constructed a bunch of technology and stuff, the Prothean technology. It's kind of like this with the Remnant technology. They just disappear, but we don't know too much, right? We only know that this was left behind, this was all abandoned. But what the hell happened? Where are they now? What are they doing? Like, what's taking them so long? Are the Ket secretly controlling the Jarden? You know what I'm saying? Like, anything's possible with the Ket involved. And the Kets are pretty much dickheads. And we know the Ket are just Angarans, just stripped down and turn into the Ket. Just like how the Collectors were from the Protheans. It's kind of like genetically modified, basically just completely changed. They're not even they don't even have the same DNA. So yeah, was it kind of copying Mass Effect 2's twist? And when I heard that it was a thing in Mass Effect Andromeda, I wasn't too surprised compared to how surprised I was in Mass Effect 2, because it's something we saw before. But nonetheless, it'd still be nice to know the founding fathers of the Remnant and know what kind of face they would have. Because Andromeda is a big place, and we all know during the 5 years development cycle that Mass Effect's supposed to have many procedural worlds that we were able to go to, but then it went down to 30 and then 7. So it was possible that we would have seen maybe at least one organism of the Jarden, one type of organism or whatever, some type of shape or form. For all we know, the Jarden could even be. They don't have to be a bipedal organism, like a human or an Angaran or a Ket. It can easily be like a tiny little microscopic organism with advanced intelligence. Like I said, something. Because they've done it in Star Trek before, where they had a little tiny organism that had so much potential and so much intelligence that it took over the whole ship. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've seen it, but they did have an episode with a tiny organism like that. It was just highly advanced, and they were able to communicate with it. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be in your face type race, organism or something like that, But just something, like getting something and having to do with the benefactor wanting to, he wants the golden egg. He wants that power. He wants that knowledge. And like I said, we don't know who the benefactor is. So it'd be good to have each DLC lead to one another. Like, it'd be one giant chain DLC, which I wouldn't mind because it would be epic the whole way through. So that would be three obvious DLCs. Well, 2 obvious, 1 not so obvious. Benefactor. That's how much of a mystery you are. Now, I know I said this in a bunch of other videos, but this could be a possible 4th, or taking the place of one of the ones I said. Like, the Remnants of the Jarden could easily be Andromeda 2 or the sequel. But the 4th one could be Habitat 7. Because at the end of Mass Effect, you hear that Habitat 7 is being climatized, and you can fly to the planet and look at it over, on the ship, on the main viewer, and you see that it is being climatized. Like, oh man, eventually we'd be able to land on it and be a safe place to colonize. And like, hey, we were able to finally be on this. But nothing really comes out of that. We don't hear anything about that further into the game. So it's an end game thing. So why not have Habitat 7 as an end-game DLC? It'd be amazing, because maybe we'd find Remnants of the Jarden. Maybe Habitat 7 would be a part of it, So it's a good thing to have. Yeah, there's just so many open-ended things. Like, holy crap! Like, I made a whole video talking about all these quests that were unfinished and all that. That could literally easily be DLC. Like, I want to see Sloane Kelly involved more. She was a character that I thought was really well designed and was a badass. And if you're reading the book Nexus Uprising, she's in there. She's the main character. Sloane Kelly's in there, security chief. So it'd be really nice to see her utilized, because it's kind of like she was so underused. Like, she was only involved in a few missions, and then that's it. I think that's just a Mass Effect thing, though, and that's why in like future games or DLCs they utilize that character, and you know. But still, she's awesome. Sloane Kelly is a really cool character. So, what do you guys think? What are some ideas and thoughts on what you want for to be possible DLC? Do you think the DLC I listed is good? Would be a good start, you know? And what would you not want to see? And would these DLCs that I listed, would that be a good way to start a sequel? You know, kind of have an introduction to what's going on in the future. So let me know in the comments below. And thank you for listening. This has been Nico the Legend doing another Mass Effect Andromeda roundup. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.